Hey everyone, so in today's video I am going to give you some tips on how to build your garden because I feel like there's too little videos on how to do that. Now, I must say I'm not the best at building gardens, but I will try to help you with the tips that I know or that I used myself before. I'll start with the first and easy tip. What I see a lot of people do is they go into build, and then they go to pots, and to create a floor outside, what they do is they just connect pots like this and make them go through each other and then paint them in like the material that they want. So usually like a stone material. So let's go for that one. And then they layer that over each other and it looks really bad. Now to fix that easily, what you can do is create a floor, and that will start off with the first tip already. And with that floor, you can create your own little pathway that you want to make. So this time I'm going to make a little flower garden in a corner like this and then add some beams to the side. So I just used manual placing, clicked some dots on the ground where I want my floor to be, and then I can paint that. And this time, because I want a flower garden, I'm going to be using this pebble material and I'm going to paint it brown. I feel like that kind of looks nice for a flower patch. And then I go to the standard square beam, custom placement, same thing, you connect the dots, so you zoom in a little bit if you can, click a dot, and add it to the corners over here. So this corner, as you can see, it magnetically like attaches to it, so that is good. Make it connect to this corner as well, and then this corner too. Oh, I made an oopsie here. And then we just finish that off on the sides here as well. Now, sadly, for flowers, you do need a garden sprinkler, otherwise you will have to water your plants all the time, which is really annoying. As you can see, I will need 2 garden sprinklers because it doesn't really cover up the entire garden I made. Well, it is quite a big garden. Maybe I made it a little too big. And then what I usually do is I paint it in the same color as like the material I used beneath it. And then we can start placing our flowers in. So this time I'm gonna go for tulips. Yes, this is definitely way too big here. Okay, I decided to make it a little bit smaller, so I will only need 1 garden sprinkler. And then same thing, painting the ground and adding some nice beams in. Placement grid on large because that's easier. And then the beam I'm gonna give a stone material, so like the pebbles or something, and paint it in a lighter color. And as you can see, that looks very cute, but it's still dark. So then what I usually do is I go into the lighting and I look for either the landscape uplight or the landscape spotlight, and I just place them inside the garden, pointing towards the flowers, of course. What you can also do if you don't want to use the beams, you can go into garden, and then there is a tire somewhere. There we go, that's $90, the tire planter. And what you can do is you can create your own little fencing like that. You cannot stack these, so they'll have to go right next to each other like that. But as you can see, you can fill that up with tires as well. Maybe it looks even better if you do that. And then to create your floor, so what a lot of people do is they create their full floor like that. But then if you want to, for example, have a wooden floor in your backyard, it creates a weird shape like that. So what you can do to fix that is you go into floor, you place it, and you work in rectangles instead of connecting all of the dots already. So you do this, or we can go all the way. You can do this. And as you can see, this is the shape of 2 rectangles, and then this part right here as well, and then the 2 diagonal sides. I just create a little area. Now, of course, this will be more expensive to paint, but it will look better. So then I can just go into wood, and as you can see, it looks a lot nicer like that. Then the next tip is a raised flower bed. Of course, you need the basement pass for this because it involves placing a roof. So you go into flat roof, and then you place it on manual placement. You connect your dots like you would with a normal roof. You drag it up just a little bit, and maybe the sides just a little higher so that you have like a little bedding inside it. And then you give whatever material you want to the side part. Now this is the inner part, so I will give that like the mud that I used earlier. And then the side part of the roof, maybe some stones like this, but in a lighter color. And as you can see, you now created your own little flower bed. So same thing, I'm gonna place some lights in here. And going into garden, you can place anything on it you want, basically. So just some stuff like this. If you want to place a lemon tree inside it, you can of course do that. So let's just add a lemon tree on top of this. Now again, if you want to place flowers in here, you will need another sprinkler, which is quite sad. And for the first time ever, I'm going to be using the flamingos in here, just because I feel like they match. Now it is dark, so we can go out of build mode and check what it looks like at night. So we do have the uplighters. Now it's still quite dark, so I will put a flat one. So the landscape uplighter, I'm gonna put one here and then one next to the tree over here as well. Going out of build mode, as you can see, this is our little garden plot thingy and it looks super cute. Maybe it's a little too high up, but that's all right. And then of course, against that, if you want, you can go ahead and place an outdoor couch. So comfort, and then whatever couch you want to place outside, maybe the contemporary sofa. Yeah, I don't want to place it on the planter, but you can place it right next to it if you want to, just like that. Creates a little division as well. You can use it as a fence if you want to. Then the next thing has to do with fireplaces. And what I do is I place a wall, then I go back into the structural options. I pick the large square beam, put my placement grid on large, and I go to the top part here, and then I go all the way down into one of the corners. Same thing again, starting from up here, going into a corner, then another one. And this one I'm gonna do 1.5, and then another one on top here, 1.5. You remove the wall, and as you can see, you created a little tiny cute house for a fireplace. So fireplaces, and then pick the round fire pit, for example. And then in here, you can go into comfort, create your own outdoor patio area, just like that. And I feel like that looks super cute. You can make it higher if you want to. You can place a fire inside the little area if you want to as well, like this. But I feel like that adds a lot to your garden. What I like to do when I place this is like put 2 chairs inside and then use a hanging plant, for example this one, and I just put that like inside where I put the beams, create a little environment around it, just like that, then place some bushes or something like that, just to finish it all off. And as you can see, you just created a really cozy environment for a fireplace. Then another tip when you build pools, let's go for the shallow one because we are a little bit broke. When you build pools, as you can see, you have that little area of concrete. So what you can do is you can place walls. I am going to paint that one, like a white color or maybe some tiles on the side. Yeah, tiles will be good. In a bluish color, not that blue. Maybe just gray, that will do. And we continue our wall over here. And then on the sides, if you go into lighting, you have some wall lighting. So you pick the highest part here, you pick the color you want. So for pools, usually go for a blue light. And then I just copy that inside my pool so that it lights up. And then same on the other side. And there we go, that looks a lot better already. And then for the top part, going into structural, because this looks a little bit weird, then round rods. And I think the standard round rod is a little too small. Yes, it is. The large one should be good enough. Same thing, we're going into the normal floor level, placement grid on large, and connect the dots once again. Of course, we have to be in the right area. And there we go, we have our fancy pool. If I go out of build mode, it is still nighttime. As you can see, the pool is really well lit up, which is fun for a nighttime swimming. And it looks a lot more expensive. Could be used for an indoor pool as well if you build a pool house around it. So just something like that as your pool house. I don't know what you want exactly, but this is a quick example. And then another thing you can do in your garden, and that's mainly to fill up space. If you go into fences, you pick the high or a grand hedge and you just create a maze. So just something like that. We build our square and then we need to find like a way out. So going into the corner, something like this. And that's the way out. And then we just build some extra stuff around it so that people would be confused. And then of course you go into fence gates and you pick the hedge opening, and then this will be the entrance. Now I don't feel like you can actually get out of the maze through this, so I will create another little gap area. Yes, that way you can finish it. Same thing, we're adding another fence gate over here. Wait, why did it disappear? It keeps disappearing. And then the exit is over here somewhere. And this is just a fun thing you can do, especially if you like to roleplay. You can have like a little maze in the backyard so that your kids can go through them like that. And I'm actually getting lost in my own maze, so I need to be able to finish this. And then this way, and we're out. You can make this as big as you want if you need to fill up some space in your backyard. You can also add some trees inside it. Why did I think I was in build mode? Also add some trees inside it to make it look a little more difficult to finish, and then around it as well. Now I'm gonna leave it at this. Of course, there is a lot more tips for backyards. I just wanted to give you the most simple ones that you can do to make your garden just a little bit better, and I hope these help you out. I think my favorite one is this planter box that you can create yourself with the roof. Of course, you need the basement game pass and stuff for that, and maybe advanced placing, probably. But for gardening, I definitely do recommend advanced placing, because without advanced placing, you can't do much. Also with the flowers, always use garden sprinklers. Very important, or your flowers will die, sadly. Now, that was it for today, guys. I hope this video helped you out. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, and please subscribe.